Yes. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about the present simple. We talked before in a previous video about the present simple, and we talked about a kind of verbs. Those were linking verbs, and we gave an example with verb to be. Today we are going to talk about the same thing about the present simple, but we are going to give a different kind of verbs, which that is action verbs. We're going to talk about the uses of the present simple. We have, as you can see here on the board, many uses, but we're going to talk only about one, which is the use of the present simple for habits or for daily routine. I am Mr. Ahmed, an English teacher, and I have here with me Mr. Majid. He is going to tell us about the uses of the present simple. Yeah, you go ahead, please.
All right. Hello, Mr. Ahmed. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, I'm fine. Thank you too. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my pleasure to be in your little screen again, and thank you for clicking on us, because by clicking on us you're going to be able to know more usages or more about the verbs. Of course, we've been talking about the verbs last time, as Mr. Ahmed told you here, but today we're going to talk about the most commonly form of a verb which has been used in the spoken English, which is in the present simple form. Right, yeah. But at first, I will talk about why we call it the present simple.
Yeah.
Yes, it is simple because it is called present simple because actually from its name it's apparently that we're using it to express the present, not the future, not the past. So this is that's why we call it the present, and it is simple because it is in its basic form. Well, we're just using one word, okay, of its forms, like the word write or writes, go or goes, okay. Unlike the other forms of the present, like the present continuous, it's going to be two words, like I'm writing or is going, and also they're going to be, unlike also the present perfect tenses, which is going to be two words or maybe three words, like for example have gone or has done, whatever. Okay, so that's why we call it the present simple. So after knowing why do we call it a present simple, we're now going to talk about a little bit about the habits, but about the usages of it. But before talking about them, I just need you as viewers to comment with us and share with us your ideas and what do you think about it. And we're going to be so happy and so glad for asking questions for you. So let us start. Yeah, we call it the usages of it. Yeah, can you tell? Oh, okay. How we have the habits? We can use the present simple to express about the habits or the daily routines. Actually, what do you do every day? Not supposed to be every day, maybe every week, every year, every month. Something that you do frequently from time to time.
Yeah.
Number two, you can talk about facts, mainly scientific facts. And as a quick view about the facts of what does it mean. So a fact, it does not change by time, by passing of the time. For example, you can say that the sun or the earth turns around the sun. So a million years ago, so the sun, the earth have been revolving around the sun till nowadays, till in the future. And also we can express the future simple with the usage of the present simple tense in a fixed times. For example, the bus to London leaves at 7 o'clock in the morning. So this is as a routine for the bus. It's a daily routine for the bus. So we can use it to express the future. Also, in quoting, and I think these are new usages of the present simple for you to know. So we can use it for quoting. If you go into quote, what did a person say, even if it was in the past. So, for example, Mr. Ahmed said that he is ready. He told me a long time, or maybe this morning, he is ready. So I'm going to tell somebody. He says that he is ready. So this is a quote. I'm just going to make a quotation. Also, we can use it for narrating an event or telling a story that happened already in the past. For example, I can say that I can say that while I was walking in the street, a man shows up and tells me that he has lost his watch himself and so. So I'm going to tell the story, but narrating it in the present simple form.
Yes.
Also, if you are reading a magazine or a newspaper, you're going to find the headlines of that newspaper is in the present form of the simple present form. So you can say, for example, a 40-year-old wins a gold medal. So this is like a catchy headlines or something like that. Also, you can use it in a commentary on an event which is happening right now. For example, all of you listen to the football matches, so you can listen to the comment, and he's saying that, and he shoots, he passes the ball, he scores a goal, and these kind of things.
Yes.
And also you can use it for summarizing a film or a book or something that you have read. For example, he goes up and then moves the chairs and do whatever as you're going to summarize the book or the film that you've been watching. So I think that I've been taking a long time for talking about the uses of the present simple, but right now we're going to focus only on what happens, or the first usage of that, which is the daily routine. So this is what Mr. Ahmed is going to tell us.
Yeah, sure. As you have just seen, the uses of the present simple are many. We use the present simple for many things or to express many things, and this is the case with many other or a lot of other tenses. The other tenses of English, we don't use them only for one purpose. They serve many purposes. The present simple, of course, as you just heard Mr. Majid saying, that we use them for these things he has just mentioned, and they are written on the board, as you can see. The first thing, as you can see here, is talking about habits.
Yes.
Habitual actions that are repeated, happen repeatedly, daily, weekly, monthly. They are repeated anyway. Here we are going to talk about habits. So we're going to focus on only one use, that is the use of the present simple for habits. Habits, here we talk about our daily routine. We're going to give an example with daily life, things that happen in our life daily, every day, like waking up, going to work, having breakfast, these things that we do on a daily basis. First thing, I'm going to show you something. We're going to show you pictures, and we would like you please to tell us, what do you see? What activity do you see? To talk about daily routine activities. Daily routine activities. Of course, as I just said, we're going to focus only on this.
On the habits.
Yeah, habits.
Yes.
And on habits, of course, I'm going to tell you something. I have to mention something, that is, we use the present simple mainly when we talk about habits, daily habits. We use a verb, and the verb goes with another word. Like, for example, you say go. You don't use go by itself, but you say go to school, for example, or go to work, and you say, for example, have breakfast or have lunch. And these words that go together, the words go together. The words go together.
Yeah.
These words that go together, we call them collocations. Collocations. So mainly when we speak about habits, or let's say about our daily life, daily routine, we use collocations.
Yes.
We're going to show you some pictures. We're going to show you some pictures, and we'd like you please to tell us the collocations of the verbs that or the activities that you see. Like the first one, the first thing we do in the morning is this here. Can you tell us which activity is this? Which verb are you going to use here?
So I'd like to tell the viewers this is only about you. So
Yes.
we need you to participate with us. We need you to give us your comments and tell us what you have in mind. So let us read some comments here. We have
Yeah, can you please tell us what activity is this?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this is the camera.
So what's the activity? So as you can see, we're asking you. So what is that activity? So you can leave a comment with it.
This is the first thing most people do in the morning.
Yeah, what do you do in the morning? The first action verb that you do in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, so here we have hi, good evening from Thailand, good evening. Where are you from, guys? Okay, well, actually I'm from Egypt. My name is Mr. Megid and he is Mr. Ahmed. He's from Morocco. Well, we're so happy and so glad to be having you here with us.
Yes.
So could you please just tell us what is that activity, the first thing that you do in the morning? So can you just tell us what is that action?
Yeah.
What we call it? What do we call it? Of course, as we've been telling you that the present simple it is commonly used, especially in spoken English, and maybe half of the verbs we can use it, or we're going to use that in English. We can use it in the present simple form.
Yes.
So I just need you to tell me what is that activity. If you can see it, yeah, it is here. What is that activity? The first thing that you do in the morning. So what is that activity? And we're going to use it in the present simple form.
That's the first thing you do in the morning, and we're going to name it anyway. That is wake up.
It is wake up.
Wake up.
Yeah, so
and
good.
We're going to write it on the board.
Good.
We're going to write it. The first activity we do in the morning is wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Good.
This is the first thing. Now we're going to show you the second picture and this. A lot of people confuse the first thing with the second thing.
Yeah.
What do you think is this activity? What do you think this activity is called?
Yeah, this is wake up. I think that she's talking about the
Rahim. That's the first one. That is
Rahim,
wake up was the first thing we wrote on the board. Wake up.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
can you give us the name of this activity, or what do we call it here?
so the first action was wake up.
Yep.
And the second action, just we need you to tell us about what's that verb, because a lot of people are confusing between these two actions. That's something and that's another thing. So what do we call that one? So that one is waking up. That one is waking up. Just when I think when you open your eyes.
Yeah, very
Just
good.
open
Yes.
in the
Rahim,
eyes.
excellent.
Yeah, get
yes.
up. Yes, Rahim. Yeah, this is excellent,
get
Rahim. So
Can you, Rahim?
That's
Can
up.
you please tell us what's the difference? Because a lot of people confuse these two verbs, like these two phrasal verbs. Can you tell us what the difference between get up and wake up
yep.
is? Yeah, very good. Now here.
Yeah.
And the
Get
second one is get up. Yes.
Yeah, Nana. This is get up.
Yes.
Very good.
Get up. And the third. Now, first, can you tell us what is the difference? What do you think is the difference between get up and wake up? And because a lot of people confuse them.
Yes.
They think that the act of leaving bed or waking up in the morning and getting up from bed are the same thing.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice to you too. Thank you. Mentron Tak.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I think that we we're getting the comments very late,
Yes.
maybe.
So anyway, we're going to write the verbs down because we
Yep.
know like the difference between this, as you can see in the picture. The pictures show it all. We show the difference, as you can see. Yep.
Yeah, that one. Can you tell us, Mr. Ahmed, what's that one?
That is waking up or wake up.
Yeah, that's
Wake up means that when you open your eyes in the morning, that is the first thing we do in the morning.
Yeah.
And the second one, can you show them the second
The
one?
second one, this is for when you just move out from the bed, when you
Yes.
leave in your bed. And a lot of people may be taking a long time between these two actions.
Yes.
Well, I myself, I take about maybe 5 minutes. I take about 5 minutes just to be able to, between the waking up action and getting up from my bed. So what
Yes.
about you? So what time do you take? Does it, unless if it was I'm only late for my work and just get up for a second, just leave,
Yes.
just jump out from the bed,
Some
and
people can
I'm
do that.
doing it.
But
Yeah.
most people, I think, they don't do that. Most people wake up at a time and they stay at bed for some time, for
Yeah.
15 minutes and for 20 minutes, for 10
Maybe
minutes.
maybe I know some people, they may have their breakfast in their
Yes,
bed and
in bed,
they
yes,
didn't.
before getting up.
Yeah, before getting up, they take a long time.
Yes. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to move to the third
Third verb.
Yes.
So who can tell us what is the activity, what is that activity, as you can see in the picture in front of you here. So what is that verb? Wake up, used for morning time. Okay, waking up, it is not related to, it is not stuck to the morning time, because it is not related to a certain time, because maybe I sleep in the morning and wake up in the evening. So you can say wake up whenever you just open your eyes if you were sleeping full time.
Yes.
Yeah, just that. Can you read that comment?
Yeah, wake up is often used in the present simple when you tell about routines. Yes. But get up is about when the action on where's the comment?
Yeah.
Getting up.
Oops, the comments and just flip it.
Anyway, the difference is clear. The difference between get up and wake up, we just said it.
Yeah.
The difference is that wake up when you open your eyes in the first thing in the morning, that is wake up. And when you leave bed, that is get up.
Yeah, that's
This
as
is clearly-
Fatma
this is-
says
yes.
here.
Hmm.
Do you mean that get up is leave the bed and wake up is opening your eyes in the morning?
Waking
Yes.
up, wake
Waking
up is
up.
open your eyes from sleep.
Yeah, from any time, according
At
to any
any
time.
time of the
Yeah, well, here we have the answer of this. This is a shower, but this
Very
is
good. Now we said
Yeah.
that we use collocations. We need a verb there, which is have.
yeah,
We take. So we say basically we say have or take a shower.
yeah. So here we should say that have a shower or take a shower, because shower is not a verb.
No, excellent. No, we can use the very good. Yes,
Yeah.
Rahim here. You can use the verb shower.
Yeah,
You can use it as a verb. Here we're going to use this collocation here,
Yeah.
have a shower. You can use the
have a
verb
shower.
as in the same thing. We're going to see that some nouns can be used both as nouns and verbs at the same time.
Okay, welcome.
Like breakfast,
Fatma.
for example.
Yeah.
Yes, very good, Fatima Zahra. Yes, very good, yes.
Yeah.
Now, they are in order, and this is the
Yeah.
third thing here. Can you tell us what action, what activity is this? What activity this is? What is this person doing in the
Yeah,
picture?
what is he doing in that picture?
Very good, yes. Manintone, have a shower. Very good. Now, can you tell us this one here? What's this person doing? Can you write the verb, please write the verb with the collocation.
Maybe you can show the colored one so that they can understand it.
It is clear here. This is why I cut these into pieces. Very good, yes.
Yeah, get dressed. Yeah, that's it.
Sure,
That's yeah.
excellent.
Thank you so
Fatma.
much, Fatma.
Fatma, that is
So
the
this
fourth
is
verb, that
get
yes,
dressed.
Get dressed. What is the meaning of get dressed, Mr. Majid?
I think to put on your clothes.
Yes.
Yes, to put on your clothes and wear your clothes. Yeah,
Very good.
yes, Rahim.
Yes, wear
Same, wear clothes.
We usually say get dressed.
Yeah,
Very good, yes. You can say that as well.
yeah.
Yes, you put them like this here. What is the third thing?
Fourth. I
The
think.
fourth. Or
The
fifth.
fourth.
The fifth. What is the fifth
Fifth
activity?
word. Yeah, the fifth activity that you often do after getting up or having a shower. So what do you do then?
And these activities, by the way, can have different orders. Of course,
Yeah.
they can come in different orders.
What is that activity?
Yes.
As you can see, it's apparently happening in the morning at
The
quarter.
first meal of the
Yeah.
day here. This one can be used both. Very good, yes.
Yeah, 8-hour breakfast. Yes, thank
Yeah, very good, yes. That is
Thank
the fifth
you.
thing. And we say
Wear
have
your
breakfast.
clothes good.
Have
Yeah, have breakfast.
breakfast. Or you can use breakfast as a verb, where you can say breakfast.
I
Just as a verb.
breakfast.
I breakfast.
Yeah, that's very good.
And why don't we say with meals, why don't we say eat? Usually we can say eat, of course. Why
Yeah.
do we resort to using have instead? Very good, yes.
Very good,
right?
Bunam.
Have a breakfast.
Yep.
We don't use articles with meals, we don't say have a breakfast. We just say
Yeah, we just say have breakfast.
have breakfast, niga,
Yep.
and very good, yes.
Yeah, very good.
And in turn, we say have breakfast. Very good, yes. And can you tell us why with meals we don't say eat usually? You can say that, of course. You can say eat breakfast to eat lunch, but why do we say have? Very good, have breakfast, Fatma, but without that.
Without that, and breakfast is just only one word.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, first, maybe I needed to tell something about the word breakfast. Why do we call in our way? Why do we call it a breakfast?
Yes.
Yeah, why do we call the first meal in the day? We call it usually the breakfast.
Yes.
Because actually, this is the word fast means that fast it means that you stopped eating or drinking for a long time, maybe more than 3 or 4, 5 hours. Of course,
Yes.
the period that you are sleeping in, and when you just wake up, you need something to break that fast. So that's why you have something to eat or something to drink. So
Yes.
you're breaking that fast.
Yeah.
So you're going back again to eat and have something to eat.
Yeah.
So this is what we call them, or what we call it, a break fast.
Yes,
Break
right.
fast. Yeah, that's
Very good, yes. Now, can you please tell us well, okay, and I'm going to say anyway. I'm going to say it. And Mr. Majid can tell us why do we use verb have with meals instead of eat?
You can tell
Like,
us about it.
Have breakfast, because you don't only eat, you eat and drink. So instead of say eat, drink, you use the verbs or to confuse the two actions, or to someone asks you, you're drinking juice,
Yeah.
milk with your breakfast. Anyway, we just say have, and it saves the day.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move quickly to the sixth.
And speaking about have breakfast, the word have changes in the meaning according to the context.
Yes.
Here, for example, have a vacation, have a great time. You can say have a shower, take a shower. You can say have what? Have a meal, to have a shower. This differs according to the context of the meaning itself.
Yes. Noor says that he has I don't know, a problem with
I have
phonetics.
a big problem with phonetics.
We can tackle that later
Yep.
on another video. Now, can you please look at these here? Look at this picture here, and tell us what this person is doing here. He isn't.
Of course. He's not eating.
That isn't a lollipop.
Yeah, it's not a lollipop. That is.
That
Yeah,
isn't a
no.
lollipop.
This is a good, healthy habit. Yeah, of course.
Some people do it once they wake up, some people
Yeah, brush
once
teeth.
they get
We
up.
have, huh?
Very
Noor?
good, yes.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. We
Oh.
have brush teeth.
Because we speak about present simple and we should use auxiliary verb. Okay, we're going to see that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is brush teeth or clean teeth.
Yeah, good. That's good.
So the sixth is clean my teeth. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
Sixth, clean or brush. You can say clean or brush. Clean teeth. My teeth. You can say that. Or clean teeth anyway.
Yeah. Right now, I need you to tell us about what is that action. What is that action? So, what is that form of a verb that can describe that picture?
Mm-hmm.
Someone is carrying a bag and going somewhere. What is that? Yeah, go to
Excellent.
school. Excellent, Noor. Yeah, his go to school. Good, very good.
So we're going to write it here.
Yeah,
You can say go to school. Some people go to work, for example. So we're going to write it like this here.
yeah,
Go to school or work.
yes.
8.
Walk into school, brush his teeth, work, go to
Yes.
school, work. Yes,
no,
of course.
very good, yes. You go to school, you go to work,
Yeah.
you go to the gym. Anyway, you go to places. Anyway.
Oh yeah. So I just wanna tell you, if you are just joining us to the video, we've been talking about the present simple form of the verb, which is commonly used in English, and right now today we're just talking about one usage of many usages in English that we've seen them in the first of the video. If you didn't see the video from the beginning, you can wait until we share it on the group again and you see the video from the beginning. And right now we're just talking about the habits, the first usage of the present simple, and we've given these pictures for you to tell us what is that activity. So what do you think that activity is? What verb we can use to describe that picture? What does she do, or what's that? These are simple pictures or simple verbs that you can use to express your daily routine.
Let's go to school. After school, while at school, what is this?
What is
activity,
this?
in the picture?
Eat
Very
lunch.
good.
Perfect.
No, very good. Yes.
Yeah, very good, Noor.
So the
Thank
same
you.
thing you can say eat lunch or simply say have. You can use have instead
Have
of
lunch.
eat. With meals, you can say have lunch.
Yep.
And avoid using articles. Don't say have a lunch.
Yep.
Yes. The ninth.
Take lunch. We say that. Take lunch. Have rest.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah, you can say have a rest. You can, but of course you're not going to have a rest in school or at work. Maybe some people do.
You can say that. You can do that. Yes.
You can do this in.
Very good. You can say take lunch, have lunch,
Yeah.
eat lunch, lunch. Very good. Yes.
Yeah, very good. And right now we're just the same person, the same picture, the previous one, but right now he's going somewhere else. So
Yes.
what do you think this verb could be? What's that verb? By the way, we're going to use, I think that Mr. Ahmed, we're going to put these verbs and the sentences in the present simple form,
Yes.
right, to show the formation of them, or how do we use them in the present simple tense.
Yes.
So yeah, this is come
Very good,
back
yes.
home.
Come
Yeah,
back
thank
home.
you. Thank you very much. This is come back
You can
home.
say go back home or go home. simply.
Right now, excuse me, Mr. Ahmed, I just need to ask you a question about, can I say, for example, this is a mistake a lot of students are making, this is a very common mistake. Can I say come back or come to home or go to home or at home? No, not at home, of course I can say at home, but come to home and these kind of things. Can I
Sure. Some words don't take the preposition
Yeah.
to. Like when you say go to a place, we usually say go to. For example, go to work, go to school. But you can say go to the house, or go
Yeah.
to, but you don't say go to home. You can say go home.
Yeah, and I think that we can say go to house and instead of go to home, because the word home is you cannot touch the word home because this is a corporal. It's a corporal word that we cannot touch because the word home means the place that you are from exactly. For example, I am from Egypt, so my home is Egypt, and you're from Morocco, so your home is Morocco. So the word home is untouchable thing, that it is incorporeal thing that you cannot touch. But you can say that go to the house or go to the school, because there are corporeal things that you can touch and you can feel them. Anyway.
So in brief, what you want to say is that home is something abstract.
Yeah, it is abstract. So you cannot use to before it.
You can say return home. Very
That's very
return
good.
home from school. Yes, move to the next one.
And
this is for students.
A lot of students, they hate that activity that much. They do not like it.
This is the most
But
hated activity.
yeah, this is the activity
Not
that
for all, of course.
Yeah.
Some like it.
not all of you like or dislike that one, but some do and some don't.
Yes.
So what do you think this activity is? What do you think this is? Something that you do after going back from school?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think this is? Revise courses? Okay, you can say that.
Very good, yes.
Study, very good, excellent. Nijar, this is the study. Yeah, very good. And what about that one?
Very good, yes. That is the right one. No, you got it right. You said do homework. Homework is one word.
Yep.
Yes, very good, yes. She's doing homework, very good, Mahir. Standing, no, she's not standing. You can say studying.
Yeah, study.
Doing homework, very good, yes.
Very good.
One it on.
Yeah.
Doing homework.
And what do you think that you should do, or what most of people do after finishing the homework? They do that activity. What is the activity or the word that describes that activity? That verb. Learn, okay. You can use learn, it's okay, no problem. But for homework, you're not going to say learn homework, but you better say do homework.
Yeah, we say do.
Yeah. So what do you think this verb is? What is that verb? What do you think about it? Have an evening coffee? Okay, you can say that. Of course, this is only for you, but this one is doing something else. Have dinner. Yeah, that's right.
Have dinner.
That's right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, the meal can be anything.
Yeah.
Yes, that is. It can be anything. It can be. Fast food. Or anything.
All right. And and speaking of the meals, we have 3 main meals in the day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of them, we have, say, breakfast. This is the first meal of the day. Breakfast. And also, this is the second meal of the day, which is lunch. And lunch. Sorry. Here. And that's the third or the last meal of the day, which is dinner, or you can call it supper.
Yes.
Right? Supper or dinner. Okay, but we may get something in between them that we call them the word snacks.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Maybe you'd like to have a snack. Yeah, we have breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay, but when you eat something, just quick meal, you can call it snack or snacks. And by the way, a lot of people are misspelling this word. They are misspelling them with another word, which is the word snake.
Snake. Yes.
Snake. Imagine that, a snake. Of course, you know what is it? A snake mean? Snake meal. It's a living creature that maybe it's poisonous and maybe hit you or something. You don't forget snacks. I'm not forgetting it. Of course, they're so important for me, by the way.
In some cultures, people have a meal between breakfast and lunch. I don't know if some people of you, amongst you know this, but we have a meal here that is called brunch.
Brunch.
Yes, it is a blend between of breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
So take the first two letters from
Brunch.
here and the last three letters or four letters from lunch, and it gives us branch. And branch here is a meal between
Yeah.
that comes in between
That's a very good information.
breakfast.
Yes, that's very good approach.
and lunch. Yes.
Yeah,
Mustafa, yes.
Yeah, I just wanna give you notice the differences in the pronunciation between these two words, because a lot of people are saying the first word is instead of saying that I like to have a snack between or snakes
Yes.
snack between the meals, they say that I like to have a snake between the meals, which is does not go. Yeah, that's what I just
Yes,
wanted to you to know.
Snake is
Yeah, you can do
an
that.
animal. Yes, very good. Yes.
And let us go back to the last activity here.
Last thing we do in the morning.
Yeah, what's that activity? What do you think that the word that can describe that activity? Talk louder, please. Okay, we're going to raise our voice just a little bit.
Brunch comes in between. I said it comes between
Yep.
breakfast and dinner, breakfast and lunch. Some people have it at 10, for example, in the
Yep.
morning, or 11. It's between the two meals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. That is go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Yeah, that's very good. This is go to sleep.
Go
That's
to sleep. Or
excellent. That's
Go
very good.
to bed. Yes, you can say go to bed.
All right.
Now we're going to put these verbs of these activities in examples for you. We're going to take only one example, and we're going to ask you to give us the others. First, we're going to take, for example, this here, wake up. Wake up, yeah, an example. But before, as we said, sentences in English generally they can be either positive, negative, or questions.
Yep.
And these are the main, the three basic forms that we know. Here we're going to give an example, a positive example, positive. We said that we have the positive, negative, the positive, the negative, and the last thing is the question.
Yeah, I think that here we have a sentence from Noor. I wake up at 6 o'clock.
Very good, yes.
Yeah, that's a very good example. Thank you. But do you really wake up at that time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good, yes.
So I wake up at 6
We're
o'clock.
going
This
to
is a
write
very
that
good
down.
example. We're going to write this down.
I wake up,
Yep.
wake up, at
At
6.
6.
Very good, yes.
Yep.
This is a sentence, very good. The verb is wake up here.
Mm-hmm.
The sentence is positive, it isn't negative. It's a positive
Sentence.
sentence here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, very
we're
good.
going to use it with the third
Yeah,
person.
we're just going to, we use the same, we say the same thing when we talk about, when we say the plural speaking person, that is we.
Yes.
So we say, if I'm
Okay.
talking me and Mr. Majid, we wake up at the same time, we say we wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
And the same thing when I'm addressing you and talking to you, and I say you wake up.
You wake up.
You wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the same thing with they. They wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so I can say I usually wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, thank you very much, Meher.
What do we call that?
Yeah, that's very
Usually.
good.
So here we use these words like usually. I'm going to write them down.
Yeah.
Usually here I'm going to write them down here. Then we're going to raise them always. Sometimes. Usually. Often or often. And never. This one is never. Is negative. So we're going to mark it this way. Anyway, we have rarely, seldom, and other ones, but these are the most common ones, and we call them frequency.
Frequency of time.
Frequency, yes, very good. Frequency adverbs.
Adverbs.
And we mainly use them, or often we use them with the present simple in the positive form. So
Yeah.
if I say, I wake up at 6 o'clock, that means that I always wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But the meaning of the sentence changes when I say, I sometimes wake up at 6 o'clock, and that means that
Not every time.
not always, not or usually, for example, and you can use any of these. Please be careful with the word never, because it means negative. if you say I never wake up at 6 o'clock, it is negative. It means that I don't wake up at 6. Very good, yes. Very good, yes. Now, she often, very good. We're going to go
She
to
often
she.
takes a shower in the morning. Yes.
Yes, so if we say he, and this is the third person singular, he, she, we say, we add an S to the verb.
Yeah. So you can.
We add an S to the verb. Like here we say wakes up. Wakes up at 6 o'clock. And of course this S, sometimes we add S, sometimes we have to add ES, and sometimes if the verb ends in Y, we add IES. And Mr. Majid is going to tell you when do we add, yes, you just delete these here. And explain to them when we add S and when do we need to add ES. Yes, you can delete English. Yes. But all of them, just leave one example or two. That's it. Go ahead and tell them. I think just he, she, and it. Yeah, you can say it here. It goes with them. Yes. So yes, we add S with these three.
All right. So here, as Mr. Ahmed told you, right now, we're talking about the formation of the present simple form, and this is with, as Mr. Ahmed told you here, when we're using the verb with I, you, and we, and they, okay, we tend to use the verb stem. The verb stem means that as you see the verb in the dictionary without adding any ending to the end of the verb. Like for example, not adding S or yes or IES to the end of the verb as we're going. Unlikely what we're going to do with the third persons, or we're not going to add anything else with ing or any other endings. But right now I'm going to tell you how you're going to form. Well, for example, go become goes. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about right now.
He's going to give you examples of when we add S, ES, and sometimes we just substitute Y for IES.
Yeah. So right now, with pronouns like he or she or it or singular noun, okay. So we call them the third persons. So we're going to use the verb plus either you're going to add an S to the end of the verb, okay, or ES or IES to the end of the verb. So normally we're just going to add an S to the end of the verb. If you need to use a verb, any one of them with the third person, he or she or it or singular noun. So for example, he instead of saying he wake up, so it's going to be he wakes up. He wakes up, and you're going to continue the use sentence. For example, he wakes up 7 o'clock, whatever. Okay, but with verbs like that ends with these following endings like sh or ch or o or yeah, that's good. That's better. Yeah. Yeah. So sh or ch or o or x or s or the word or z. For example, the word wash. For example, with the he or she or it is going to be washes. So we're going to add an es, and also with the word like and ending with ch, like the word watch, we're going to add es too. And also with a word like the word go. A word like the word go, it ends with o, so that's why we're going to add an es here to the end of the verb. Okay, and the word with x ends with the letter x is going to be like the word fix, for example. Like fix. So we're going to add es to the end of the verb, and the word that ends with like mess, for example, miss or mess. So we're going to add the suffix es to the end of the verb, and if the verb ends with z, for example, the word buzz, for example, so it's going to be the word buzzes. We're just going to add an es here. So that's again. So we tend to add an es at the end of the verbs that ends with these following endings, and make sure that you know them and memorize them very very well, because the ends like sh or ch or o or x or s or z. Of course, don't forget that we are just using them with the verbs, not with the nouns, because many students, when I'm going to give them this, I'm asking them for example, they give us examples about nouns, and this is cannot go.
It's the same.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the same rule that applies to nouns. Like, it's the same rule that applies to nouns, applies to verbs, but here we're talking about verbs. You should not forget this.
Yeah.
And it's the same way when we talk about pronunciation, of course. The pronunciation of S here, for example, here we say wakes up.
Yeah.
So the pronunciation of S is wake.
Sound, because it differs.
If you add ES, you have to pronounce it is.
Yes.
So you say washes, watches,
It's going to be like that.
except for this one, which is goes, and fixes, misses, and here you have buzzes. It's the same. So you just the pronunciation. Pay attention to that.
Yeah, that's it. And still we have about, we're going to talk about, yes. We're just going to talk about when do we add an IES to the end of the verb. Here you have, if you have a verb that ends with Y letter, like the verb study, like the verb worry, like the verb play, like the verb say, for example.
Yes.
So here, but you have to pay attention, because if you have a verb that ends with Y letter, you have to look and stop. You have to look before the Y, the letter which comes before the Y letter. If it was a consonant, so you go into, it's okay for you to delete the Y and add IES to the end of the verb. So it's going to be where is. So for example, he worries a lot about his exams.
Yeah.
And the word study, if you have an E letter, we have to look before the letter. We have the verb. We have the word D. Of course, you know the difference between the vowel letters and the consonant letters. To remind or to make you remind them, the vowel letters are A, E, I, O, and U. So if that letter was a letter not from this group, okay, like the letter D we have here, it is a consonant letter. So that's okay if we're going to delete the letter Y and add IES to the end of the verb, so the word becomes studies. So remember, this is only if we're using them with the third pronoun, the third person's pronouns in the present simple form. But of course, if you're using them with I, you, and they, so we're going to use them, the verb stem, the verb as you see them in the dictionary.
Yeah.
But if you have a verb that ends with Y letter, so we have to look before the Y letter, and if we got a vowel letter, so this way, that's very good start. Like what you said, we're just going to keep the Y and add a letter S. Because you know what, if we have done it, so let us try to delete the Y. Nothing gonna happen, right? So if we deleted the Y and add IES here, so who's going to read that word? That word is impossible to be spoken in English, because here we have 1, 2, 3 vowel letters each after another, and this cannot go, because it's going to be stuck in here if you're going to try to say them or speak them out. So it doesn't go. So that's why we're keeping the Y and add an S. As the same, we have the verb say, we just keep the Y and add S here to the end of the verb. So this was in brief the form of the present simple form with the second pronoun like he or she or it or singular noun.
Yes.
And right now I think that Mr. Ahmed is going to complete.
Yes. I just need to mention something here.
Yep.
That is, as we said before, I think that we mentioned this before in a previous video, that we use pronouns instead of nouns. So instead of using, when I'm talking about myself, I normally use the pronoun I. I use the pronoun I. For example, I wake up, I go, I eat, I have breakfast, I have lunch, I go to school, I go to work, I go to bed, etc. But I'm talking about someone, for example, my father, or my friend, or for example, someone called, for example, Ali, for example. We use the pronoun he to avoid repetition of the word my father, of the subject my father, and the same thing Ali. For example, if I say Ali wakes up, and I want to say another sentence about Ali, I have to use the pronoun he in order to avoid repetition, because it sounds a little
maybe confusing boredom to the reader, to the person who reads or listening to you.
Yes.
So to avoid being boring to somebody.
Yes. So to avoid repetition, we use pronouns anyway. Yeah. And the same thing applies for she. You say my mother. Let's say Sarah, for example. You say Sarah wakes up.
Yeah.
Or my father wakes up. But when you say I wake up.
Yes.
I wake up. Please, there is no word play, the word does not exist in English.
No, it's not. I'm just giving you an example because this is not a correct form of a word, so that's why we keep in the Y as it is, and we just add in an S letter to the end of the verb if you're talking about the verb play, P-L-A-Y. Yeah.
So here, as we just said, we are done with the positive form.
Yeah, I just want to make to be the students to be aware of, because a lot of students are giving me that sentence, which is wrong. Ali he wakes up, so it cannot be either he or Ali. So you cannot use them, both of them in a sentence. The noun and the pronoun. It's called a pronoun because it replaces the noun. So that's why we call it a pronoun. So that you cannot use both of them in a sentence. In one sentence, for example, you cannot say he, or you cannot say Sarah, she plays football well, or something like that. But you can say only she plays football or Sarah plays football. That's it, because a lot of students are being confused about it, and this is just I would like to say about this.
Yes.
So let us move to the.
Yes. Now we are done with the positive forms. You can see. We said that we use I and you, we, they. We just use the base form of the verb.
Yeah.
Like verb go, we keep it as it is in the infinitive. I go. Tie, you just add s.
Tie, we just add an s because the verb stem of that is tie,
yes,
right?
That is the base form.
So the base form as you see it in the dictionary. So
like lie, same thing with lie. L-I-E, you just add s. We just gave the examples of words to which you add es. Yes. Now, here, Nikki, it's all right.
Oh, sorry, I missed this class. Okay, no problem.
So here we have the positive form, and Mr. Majid here is going to explain to you the negative. We just need what we call an auxiliary verb.
Yep.
Here we have the negative form. He's going to show us what we add to the verb. What do we need to make a negative sentence?
Okay, so if you have a sentence like that sentence, for example, I wake up at 6 o'clock. So of course here we have just one verb, which is the main verb, which is wake, the word wake, or the word wake up, phrasal verb wake up. So if I want to make it negative, of course if you've missed our last video, we've been talking about the verbs which are action verbs or not. So I think this is Lincoln verbs. So this is an action verb. Yeah, this is an action verb. So if you have an action verb in a sentence and you need to make it negative, you're going to call a helping verb, because the word negative, as I told you before, is to add the word not. Just going to add the word not. Which time will you take another class? Okay, maybe we're going to set a time for. Thank you for arousing this point. We can make a time for us every class.
Yeah.
Maybe
it is going to be. This is we are sure about this. I think it is going to be Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday.
Wednesday.
These 3 days we're going to be live.
Yeah, 3 days
8,
at the same time from
starting
8
from
o'clock and Kuwait's local time. So and Kuwait's local time at 8 o'clock p.m. on
It is
Saturday.
5 Greenwich, yes.
Yeah, Saturday 5 Greenwich.
Yes.
Yeah, good,
5
very good.
Greenwich, yes.
So 5 Greenwich time, we're going to be broadcasting our live video, and we're so happy for helping you here to getting you more perfect in English.
Yes.
Yeah, and now we've been talking about the negative form of...
I just wanted to answer something here.
Uh-huh.
Rahim says, but I don't get up immediately.
Uh-huh.
Rahim, we just talked about
Yeah.
the uses of get up and wake up and the differences between them, or the difference between them.
Yeah.
When you wake up, you open your eyes and you may still be lying in bed,
Yeah.
not leaving bed. That is wake up. When you get up, that is a different story. You
Yeah.
can wake up and stay in bed. When you leave your bed, that is what we call get up. Yes.
Which a lot of people do not do directly. They do not get up exact at the same time they wake up.
So
Okay, let us go back.
Can I just say something here?
All right.
Mr. Majid is going to tell you about the negative. As we said with verb to be, for example, when you say I am,
Yeah.
I am a student, or I am a student, or a teacher. With verb to be here, we don't need anything. You just add not here if
Yes.
you want to make the sentence negative. Here, Mr. Majid is going to tell you the difference between this verb to be and other verbs like action verbs, like these verbs that
Yeah,
are
like that verb wake up. We've been taking that example for positive students. Now we're going to put it into a negative form in the present simple tense.
Yes.
So here I'm going to mean negative is to add the word not in a sentence. But of course I'm not going to put it anywhere. Just like I cannot, for example, I cannot say I not wake up at 6 o'clock, or I cannot say, for example, either I wake not up or I wake up not at 6 o'clock. So that's why I need to call a helping verb. So I'm going to call a helping verb. And as you can see here, it is I'm going the same subject, which is I. So the helping verb for that action is the verb do. Yeah, the verb do here we're going to take it as a helping verb. And as you know, we take the verb infinitive, the verb stem with these pronouns like I, you, we, and they. So it is going to be I do not wake up at 6 o'clock. I do not wake up at 6 o'clock. So that's what we're going to do. Or you can say instead of the word do not, you can make an abbreviation for it. It's going to be don't. I don't wake up at 6 o'clock, as you can see the sentence. Yes, so the helping verb do here is in the verb infinitive, because we're using that with I. Unlike the verb which we're going to use to make the next sentence the negative form, because here we're changing the subject is going to be, for example, he. So if you have the verb, if you have the subject he, so we're going to use the verb do again. But here, as you can see, here this is a third person, he or she or it. And remember, as we've been talking about, if you have a verb ends with o at the end, so that's why we're going to add es. So the verb is going to be he does.
Yeah.
Basically it's going to be he does.
Basically, this s goes here.
Yeah, it goes here. All right, and that's why it ends with o letter. So that's why we're going to add an es till it becomes does. And of course, the main verb is going to be infinitive. Infinitive means that. Infinitive means that. I forgot to add not. Yeah. Not. Does not. For example, he does not wake up at 6 o'clock. So here, this verb, the verb wake, we do not have to add an s to the end of it, because actually, as it told us, we've been talking about last video about the function of the verb that we have tells us about the time, and tells us about the kind of action itself. So here, or what happened itself. So this is what we know. This is that helping verb tells us which tense does it, the verb that happening already, and which is the present simple tense. That's why we do not have to add another s to the verb here to show which tense is that using, because already we have been we've known before which verb is it by using the helping verb. Yeah. So it's going to be he does not wake up at 6 o'clock. So these are the helping verb and the this is the negative form of the present simple tense in the present time. So
Yeah.
that's
Now we have an important question here,
Well.
which is, can we use can't here? Well, let me tell you something.
okay.
Shall.
You can say it.
If you use the verb can't here, you're talking about ability. Can't and can is a modal verb that expresses the attitude of the speaker, which is here ability. If you say I can't wake up at 6, means that you are not able, like you have something, like you have something with your body that you are sick or something that does not allow you to leave bed or to wake up because of a reason, something that makes you unable to do that.
Yeah.
But here we're not talking about ability, we're talking about your habit, your daily routine, the activity that you do it, whether you do it or whether you not. So here you don't do it, you say I don't. We use the auxiliary verb
Yes.
do, not can.
Yeah.
So to make it brief here, if you want to make negative, you just put don't here.
You just
Don't, and here you say
and here you say doesn't.
doesn't, and s is not here. So you
Yeah.
leave it out of the matter. So you say I don't wake up at 6, and this is negative, and he doesn't wake up at 6.
Yeah.
That is the negative, yes, for short.
Yeah, but a lot of students may ask that question to me. What's the difference between saying if I said do not or don't? For example, I don't get up, I don't wake up at 6 o'clock, or I do not wake up at 6 o'clock. Of course, it's apparently from the way I say it. This is about to assure the negative meaning. So you can use do not, for example. If you're telling me you waking up at 6 o'clock, so I'm going to say I do not wake up at 6 o'clock. So this is assuring the negative meaning of it. Unlike if you're going to say, for example, this you're saying a statement. For example, you're saying I don't get up at 6 o'clock. So it apparently it's okay. You're not stressing on the negative form. You're not giving assurance. You're not affirming the negative form of a sentence. So that's it.
Now, I'd like you, please, if you are people who are with us here, I'd like you, please, to give us examples if you can afford it. Can you give us examples, like use a different activity, like you have breakfast?
Yeah.
Give us a positive statement with I, and a different one with, for example, with he or with my father, as we said.
Yeah.
And give us the negative for both sentences. It would be great. And I think we're going to move to the questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Erase
erase
that.
this and move to the question. Question 4. Of course, as you know, I think we have two kinds of questions in English. We have yes and no questions, or yes or no questions, and we have WH
Yes.
questions. We're going to take a look at both kinds of questions. In questions as well, we use verb do, the auxiliary verb do. For example, have I. Let's take you. You wake up. You wake up at 6. You wake up at 6. If I want to ask you a question, I just start my question with the auxiliary
Yeah,
verb
I
do.
think here we have a question. We have here, does she feed the parrots?
Very good,
Yeah,
yes.
that's a very good example. That's a very good example of the question forms in the present simple with yes or no question.
Now, if I ask Mr. Majid, for example, this question here, do you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning?
This is a yes or no question. So the listener should expecting from me to say either yes or no at the beginning of my answer. So if I'm going to make it a positive sentence, I'm going to say yes, I do, or no, I don't.
Very good, yes.
Yeah, which
Now, if
which
we have
are
she,
yeah.
he, like she wakes up, the same thing, she wakes up.
Yep.
at 6 in the morning. Of course, we use do as well. And again, this
Yes.
S
Yes.
comes all
Yeah.
the way here. And we say, does she, and we remove the S.
Yes.
Does she wake up at 6? And the answer should be yes,
Yes.
she does.
Does.
No.
Yes, she does. Yeah, thank you so much, Noor. That's
Yes.
very good. It seems apparently that Noor is active with us. Thank
Very
you
good,
for
yes,
this.
She does. No, she doesn't. Very
Yeah.
good, yes. No.
Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, she does. Yes, she doesn't. These are, we call them short answers. Okay, we can
Yes.
make them longer ones. Like for example, yes, I do wake up. But if I said yes, I do wake up, you can use the helping verb in a positive statement to make it affirmative to assure the verb that you are using in the sentence.
Now,
So
I think that we're going to explain the WH questions here.
yeah,
WH questions, we're going to use only one question word. We're going to ask about the time here.
yeah. Gonna
Time.
ask about a time.
So I'm going to use this. Hey, what time? What time? So what time do you wake up? And the question stops here.
Yeah.
Because I'm asking about this. For example, Mr. Majid, what time do you wake up?
So as an answer, I'm going to say I wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yes, I
Yes.
wake
So
up.
this is the sentence. I wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, very good. I'm asking
Yeah.
about someone and see what time does she wake
Wake
up?
up.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can use when. You can use the
Yeah.
word when. They are slightly different. Very good, yes. Yes, very good, yes.
I wake up at 6 a.m. Do you wake up at 6 a.m.? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Does she wake up at 6 a.m.? Yes, she does.
Excellent.
No, she doesn't. Excellent.
Yes.
That's very good. Well done.
Yeah.
That's so good. And by the way, yes or no questions, on the WH questions, they differ because in the yes or no questions we're just answering a yes or no, and they are known in the conversation that they kill the conversation. So I'm not recommend you to use a yes or no question for speaking to people, because this only just gives you a short answer, either yes or no, and here the conversation ends or stops.
Yes.
Yeah, but for more information, you should use informative questions, asking about the time, asking about the reason, like the WH question forms. What time did he get up? It's a good example, but it is about the past simple tense, which we're not talking about today. Today we're talking about the present simple form of the negative sentence, the positive sentence, and also a form of a question.
So, and Rahim here says, can I use it what time instead of what time? Yeah, very good, yes.
Yeah,
You can say that. You can say.
But I think this is more informal way of speaking.
time
So
do you wake up?
at what time do you wake up? So this is, you cannot say this in a written English, but you can say in a written conversation, for example, because it differ if you're going to speak formal or informal English. If you have a test, for example, you should say what time do you, but in a conversation you can say what time, at what time do you so and so. Can you show me the difference between say and tell? Sorry, but for that question is not relevant here, but I'm confused. Okay, the word say and the word tell. I think say it just you saying something to somebody or to a group of people, right? You just say, for example, Ali said he's busy right now. So his say is giving you a statement.
Yeah.
He's giving you a statement. It doesn't have to be followed by an object. So unlike tell is just somebody's telling someone or a group of people about something. So the information goes to one direction. So
Yeah,
I am, for example, I am telling Mr. Ahmed, so I am only the source of information, and I'm going to transmit this information from me only to Mr. Ahmed, not the opposite or we're not going to change the speaking of it or change the information. If we are changing the information, it could be the word speak. For example, speak about, and it's in the word speak, we should have a topic that we're talking about. So we're saying, for example, me and Mr. Ahmed, we spoke about the present simple tense, or we are speaking about the present simple tense. So both of us are exchanging the information between us. Unlike tell, just one person gives the information goes that way from a person to another, just that. So this is the information, and we're transmitting between just one person to another, and then not exchanging, and not going back again. But the word say, just say, it doesn't need an object. You can say, he said something that's, I think this is the answer.
So adding to what Mr. Majid just said,
yeah.
Who asked this question? It was Shah, yes.
Yeah.
The difference between the two, as if you were here last time, we talked about transitive and intransitive verbs. So basically, you tell someone, tell is a transitive verb, it needs an object.
Yes.
Like I tell Mr. Majid about something. But say is an intransitive verb, it doesn't need a direct object or an indirect object, it doesn't need an object anyway.
Yeah.
So that is the difference, yes. What time do you wake up? Very good, just start.
Yeah,
So,
what time does she wake up? Okay, good.
Can you please, we're going to ask something of you here. We'd like you to write about your daily routine.
Yeah.
Sentences about your daily routine, like I get up, I wake up, I brush my teeth, I have breakfast, I go to school, I go to work, I have lunch, for example, etc., until you go to bed.
Yeah. While they go in to give us their daily routine, I'd like to speak just a little bit about the WH questions.
Yes.
Yes. And I think I'm going to do that one too.
I'll just leave the questions.
Okay.
Just leave it.
All right. So tell you what, I'm going to give you Nasser. Okay, is watching. Okay, welcome Nasser. So here I'm going to give you a sentence, and from it you're going to ask many or as WH questions as possible as you can. So for example, I see that a sentence could be he watches TV every night, or every day. It'll be every night. I'm sorry, this is a sentence. So this is a sentence, okay? I need you to tell. Now we're going to talk about just a little bit more about the WH questions, which we call them informative questions, just like what, when, why, where, who is whom, and how, and these kind of questions which they're asking about information. So for example here, Mr. Ahmed, if I want to make a question about each and every word here, we have he, we have watches TV every night. So I can think we can make a question on every word here. For example, the first one, if I'm going to ask about the subject, of course I'm going to ask about the subject with the word with the word who. And it differs if you go, you can not use a helping verb with a question that is started with the word who in the beginning of a sentence. For example, I can say that I don't have to say who does watch TV, but I can say who watches TV, which is a good way. So you can say that who watches TV every night. So and the answer is going to be he, which could be, for example, Ahmed or Ali, or of course it's going to be it's going to be a main. It's going to be a masculine name. Is going to be a person, because here we're using a male person. We're using he, for example, could be Ali, whatever. And I can ask about the verb itself. I can say about the verb what. So I'm going to say, for example, what does. Here I need to use the helping verb, which is does, because what does, and I'm gonna, what does who do? So what does the subject, and the subject here is he. So what does he, and the action, instead of saying the word, this is the question, this is the answer of the question that we need. So of course I cannot say what does he watches or what does he watch, because this is the answer. Of course I cannot ask you what's in Ahmed, what's your name, and I know your name is Ahmed already, so why am I asking you? So it's going to be what does he do every night. I can see that. What does he do every night? And also I can ask about the TV, which is the object. I can say that, for example, what does he watch? What does he watch every night? So this is asking about the TV. And also every night, this is an adverb, which is I can ask and say how often. Back again, we've been talking about the WH questions, more details about the WH questions here in the form of the present simple tense. And we have the students, we have he watches TV every night. And we've been asking about the every night, which is an adverbial frequency of time. So this is, I can see that how often does he watch TV, and the answer is going to be every night. I think this was only an example, and from that example we've been able to derive or to make many WH questions in the present simple form.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
So anyway, yeah. We'd like you, please, if you can afford it, to give us examples of your own examples of activities that you do, of your daily routine, things that you do every day.
So we kindly of you asking you to just give us. So do I, Mercy, I love their lessons.
Thank you, Star.
Thank you, Star, very much. Thank you very much.
We would like you, please. We would like you to give us examples of about your daily routine, please. Like, for example, I'm going to tell you about my daily routine. I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I have a shower at 8:15. I have breakfast at 8:30. I leave home at 9, and I get to work at 9:10. I leave work at 12 o'clock p.m. I have lunch at 1 o'clock p.m. I watch TV from 2 until 3. I go back to work at 4, and I leave work in the evening at 9. And at last I have dinner at 9:30, and I go to bed at 11 p.m. So can you please do the same thing? Can you give us or tell us about your daily routine? Waiting for you to do that, Mr. Majid is going to give us or to tell us about his. Go ahead and tell us about your daily routine.
Yeah, about my daily routine, I can say that. Hi John, hello. Okay, this is chatting together.
Yes.
Okay. Kindly of you, we're just asking you to practice with us and do more exercise with us, because today we've been talking about the present simple tense. And this present simple tense is so important for you to know, just to be able to express about your present actions. This is one of the main tenses that you should know as a beginner in learning English: the present simple and the past simple and the future simple. Today we've been able to discuss, or been able to talk in detail about the present simple tense in the positive form and the negative form, and also in the form of questions with its two kinds, the yes or no questions and the WH questions. And we've been asking you to give us just maybe 2 examples, maybe just 2 sentences about you. Tell us what do you do from time to time, or every time, just like your daily routine. Is it your first class? No, it isn't. It is not our first class. If you've missed our videos, we've been. This is maybe third.
Yeah, this is the
Third session about. Yeah, about the third session about our class, and you can watch the other videos. Maybe we're going to make page for us on Facebook and YouTube and put them there. Unless we do this, you can follow us here. Just for Mr. Ahmed asked me to talk about my daily routine, so I can say that I wake up at 8:30. I take a shower, then I take my breakfast at 8:45. Then I come to work at 9 o'clock. Then I start my sessions. After that, I finish work at 12. I go back home again at 12:15 or 12:20. I have my dinner. I have my lunch at 2 p.m. and then I just go back to work again at 4 o'clock. Then I finish work at 9 and in the evening at 9 p.m. Then I go back home again at maybe 10 o'clock, and then I have my dinner at 11:30 maybe. So so that I could be able to sleep. Sometimes I sleep early, sometimes I sleep a little bit late. Maybe I'm going to sleep at 12:30, maybe 1 a.m. in the morning. It differs according to what is happening in the day. For today, I think I'm going to sleep early today. Give me suggestions. How can I prepare myself for the IELTS test?
That is a different topic.
That is a very different topic. This is so far away from what we're talking about here today.
Yes.
But anyway, for IELTS test,
I'd like to say something, please. Here you can write your questions and things that you'd like to know in the comments.
yeah.
And we will gladly answer you. We're going to look at the comments and we will gladly answer you. So please leave your comments. If you have any suggestions for lessons in the future, things that you would like to know, things that you would like to learn about, you can let us know in the comments and we will gladly do that. Yes.
And again, I just would like to tell you about, maybe we're going to go on a fixed time, just broadcasting our live video shows, so that you can follow us and see us live. So it's going to be again. Can you tell them again the times that
So
we
the
should
times
be
are going
online?
to be. This is. I think this is what we show about. They're going to be on Saturday, Monday, and Wednesdays. We're going to have to be live on Saturdays, Mondays and
Wednesdays. So
and we are sure about this. And this is going to be at 5 Greenwich. Very good. Yes, here, Star, you give a very good example. Yes.
yeah,
very
let
good,
me
yes.
read it. I wake up at 4. Starlay, that's a very good example. Let me
Yes.
read it. I wake up at 4 a.m. Then I go to the bathroom to take shower and wudu. Okay. Then I do Fajr prayer. After that, I go to the kitchen to prepare my breakfast. I ate my breakfast at 7 a.m. Then I go to school. I study there until 4 p.m. Then I go home, and so on. That was a perfect.
Excellent example.
Yeah,
yes.
that was a perfect example
yes.
of it. Yeah, thank you.
Would
Thank
like
you
the
so
others
much.
to do the same thing. Can you please go and follow his lead and do the same thing? Write about your
Yeah.
routine. And I think that's it for today.
Yeah, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you so much for watching us. For that, maybe we'll exceed an hour.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been talking and taking a long time talking about the present simple, especially in the habits forms today. So I'd like to thank you so much, and I'd like you to follow us and put your comments there if you are asking about something. Let us read just the last comment we're going to do. Oh my God, it's a very. I think yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so can you read that one?
I
Just
always get up at 6
Noor.
o'clock.
Yep.
I get up at 6 o'clock. Yeah, very good. You should say wake up at 6 o'clock in the first sentence. I get up at 6:30. Then I wash my face and brush my teeth. After that, I have my breakfast. At 8 o'clock, I go to university. I study from 8:30 to 1:30. Sometimes I have my lunch with my friends at 2 p.m. When I go back home at 4 o'clock, I revise or do my homework. At 7 p.m. I eat my dinner. Then I do the laundry and help my mom. And I search at the internet, I surf the internet, and I often watch movies. At 11 p.m. I go to sleep. Excellent.
That's a very excellent
example. Yes.
And I really would like to thank you so much, you Noor and staff, for
sharing your day.
For sharing your days and having that. Of course, they had a long time to type or to send us this paragraph, which shows that you are very interested in our lessons. That's a very good thing. I should thank you about. So, we've already told you that we're going to be on live on Saturdays, Mondays, Wednesdays. It's going to be in Greenwich time. It's going to be 5 o'clock, which is 8 o'clock here in Kuwait's local time. 8 p.m. of course, 8 p.m. Thank you, Rahim. Thank you for the lesson.
And Rahim, thank you, and it's been our pleasure.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, of course.
We thank you for being watching.
Yeah.
Very good, yes. YNG form is used. Very good. You can ask these questions. We can answer you later in the coming lessons, of course.
Yeah, all right.
No, you are welcome. We thank you, of course. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
See you next time.
I'd really would like to thank Mr. Ahmed so much for that lesson today. Thanks a lot for you, our viewers, and see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.